This is SS Belmont with SwiftTacticsGaming.com. Today we're going to cover demolition spawn traps on grid. Let's take a look at the offensive side and defensive side for domination on grid. As we see here, this is the offensive side. You will first spawn in this area of the map by the tanks there. Now let's take a look at the defensive side. And as you can see, here's the offensive side and defensive side here. We spawn out here in the Jeep area by the hangars. That's your original spawn point. Next, after you're killed, you spawn in this general area right here. The primary spawn point is in the corner over here by the hangars. And you have a secondary spawn location, and then there's also a third spawn location. The secondary spawn location is in the hangar to the left, which we'll take a look at here in a second. This hangar here is your secondary spawn location. So we want to keep a main eye on this area when you are in offensive mode and you want to trap your defensive players. You see how they're spawning in the left-hand corner there of the hangars. Now let's take a look down the hangar here, and we'll see a guy spawn in this location shortly. You see he just spawned there. So when we go over our spawn trap locations, we're going to cover the appropriate positions for each of your 6 players to be in. So let's just take a look here briefly. And one of our players has made it into the spawn area over here, and as you'll see here in a second, he moved into the corner. And I want to show you this. When you encroach too far into the spawn location, it'll force the players to spawn in a different portion of the map. And as you can see there, a player just spawned in this area of the map over here on the grid side by the power grid. That's your third spawn location point there, not the fourth. And as you can see, this is the area in which he penetrated into. So now let's take a look at the spawn positions we should cover in terms of spawn trapping these guys. This is position number 1. We need a player here. And this is position number 2, right here by this concrete barrier here, overlooking the right side there in the corner, because as we know that's where they're spawning. Third position covers straight ahead in that hangar and keeps a lookout for his left flank as well. Fourth position is a more aggressive position up here by the Jeep area, covering both left and right hangar corner and hangar. And fifth position is overlooking this window here out into the corner area of the hangar area. And we have a fifth position here in a second out here on this ledge, as you see straight down the hangar tunnel area there. If you set up your players in those positions, that's a good position to trap the defensive team. So now let's look at it when you're on the defensive side, what you need to do. Here's your primary spawn location for the offensive team. Here's your secondary spawn when they'll spawn after the primary start in this little ditch area here. So we'll trap there. We'll cover that in a minute. There's also another secondary spawn point over to the left area here, which I'll show you in a second. That's spawn position number 1 there. As you can see, we have spawn position 1, 2, and 3. Those are the primary areas that we need to cover. So let's take a look at these areas a little closer. We see the ditch area to the left there, and we see the area or to the right there, and we also see an area on the left. And if you look closer, you see 2 guys just recently spawned in position number 1 and position number 2 area. Those are your 2 spawn points. Position number 1 is your primary spawn. Position number 3 is a very rarely used spawn, but occasionally you'll see people spawn in that location, as I just demonstrated. So let's drill down into the map and let's take a look at where we want to position ourselves. This is position number 1. You trap the ditch area. It's an aggressive position. Position number 2 is over here by this concrete barrier, another aggressive position. That's spawn location number 2. And then spawn location number 3 wants to cover this very rarely used area, spawn number 3. And that's player number 3. to cover that area when you're on the defensive side. And we come up here, and at this overlook, we get 2 players covering the most aggressive spawn point. That's player position number 4. Position number 5 covers this alleyway here. And then player number 6 can be a floater and cover and help cover additional areas in terms of the spawn trap. He can be a floater. A guy that's a good runner and gunner would be appropriate for that position. That concludes our session for today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good day, and good luck spawn trapping.